everybody, welcome to another real estate video. This is Javier Vidania, the real estate YouTube guy here in Phoenix, Arizona, helping you accomplish your home goals. Today's video is going to be talking about a new down payment program that just came out. Realtors love two things in life: free lunches and down payment assistance programs. And the reason why they love down payment assistance programs is because they just promote the heck out of it. So if you're in the Phoenix, Arizona area, you've probably already been marketed by a realtor saying, hey, receive $20,000 of down payment. Now, your senses should come up because that does sound like a little weird. Why is this program giving me $20,000? Well, in today's video, I'm going to explain what this program is, how it works, and what are the pros and cons. I want to give you guys straight hard facts and you guys can make up your mind on what it is. So just before we start anything, just be careful before you talk to anybody. Know that sometimes they decide to not tell you the whole truth. So hopefully this video helps you clarify exactly how it works and if it's beneficial to you. All right, so what is this magical loan that people are talking about? Well, for starters, it's called the Pathway to Purchase Loan. And it probably sounds familiar to many of you because this was a program that was around about a year, 2-3 years ago. A lot of people love this program because it was literally a true 0% down program. The way it works, it's a government assistance down payment program where buyers could buy a home, I believe up to about $370,000, and the government would give them up to 10% of the purchase price as a down payment. But this 10% wouldn't just be free money. It'd basically be a second silent loan that was taken and be applied towards you and would be eventually forgiven after 5 years. The maximum amount you could borrow was up to $20,000. So that's why a lot of these ads, they'll say, hey, receive $20,000 with this new program. So how you use these funds is up to you. Obviously, most of the times people use it to cover their down payment and their closing costs. But if you got a situation where the seller paid for your closing costs, then essentially you could use the entirety of that $20,000 or whatever your situation is going to be to actually pay off a good chunk of your down payment and get into the home. A lot of times people would literally put $1,000 for their deposit, buy the home, inspections, and get it back towards the very end. So after running out of funds, they decided to come back, and only in a certain amount of zip codes they will give you this program. Here are the zip codes that are allowed. As you can tell, it's not a lot. It's primarily in Phoenix and maybe a few in Glendale, but previous to that, the Pathway to Purchase programs, there's a lot more zip codes available in all kinds of cities around Phoenix. However, in this situation, they're only focusing on these. When I spoke with some lenders, I think it's only because they want to promote home ownership in these zip codes. Maybe, I don't know exactly, but these zip codes, maybe they don't have much homeowners there, or they're trying to promote people stop renting there. I don't know the exact story, but the government is only doing it in these certain zip codes. So how do you qualify for this home program? Well, for starters, it's just like any other loan. You need to have good debt to income ratio, good credit score. If you don't know what I'm talking about, click this link. I made a great video describing what you need to qualify for a home. You need to have a minimum credit score of about 640. You only need to buy in the certain zip codes that are allocated for these funds. And last but not least, you need to make sure that you know that you're getting yourself into at least a 5-year commitment. So if you're listening to this, you're probably saying, sign me up, baby. I don't care. I'm gonna sign up in whatever zip code you want me. I'm gonna sign up for this program. But there are pros and cons to this, not pros and cons. There are pros and cons to the situation. One is you're stuck in this home for 5 years. The 10% that they're giving you isn't just free government money. It is a second silent loan that's gonna stick with the home, and it's only forgiven after 5 years. So if you live in a home for 2 or 3 years and you wanna sell it, too bad. You have to be in it for 5 years or else you're paying back a portion of that original 10% that they gave you. This isn't too bad of a deal. A lot of people, they live in their home for over 5 years, but I don't like being forced to stay somewhere, especially when I want to be able to move in. A lot of people, after 2 or 3 years, they have enough equity to make about 10 to 30 grand and move to another house. Well, in this situation, you're forced to stay in it for that reason. However, if you do stick with it for the 5 years, then you do get 10% for free if you think of it that way. The second thing is it is pretty great that it's a conventional loan. The loan to value, once it reaches 80 to 20, then you will be able to knock off your mortgage insurance, which if you don't know what I mean, you can watch the video I made about it here. This is great for any situation. You always want to try to go conventional because with FHA, your mortgage insurance is going to stick with for the life of the loan. With conventional, your payment should drop within 5 to 10 years. But one thing you should also consider as well as a con is the interest rate is going to be slightly higher than an average conventional loan. I believe when the lenders I spoke with, your interest rate should be about 5.5% to 4.5% using this program, depending on how good your credit is. Whereas if you do a normal conventional loan, it should be about 4 to 5%. So you should expect your interest rate to be about half to 1 point higher. If this doesn't seem like a lot, but we're talking between $50 to $150. But if you're gonna be in this home for 30 years, that's gonna add up and it's gonna be a large portion. And my last con for this loan is the closing costs are gonna be a lot higher. Now we're not talking, usually we're talking $4,000 to $6,000. My lender's telling me it's gonna be at least another $1,000 to $2,000 more on closing costs. So if you're buying around $5,000 to $6,000 worth of closing costs, expect it to be closer to $7,000 to $8,000, which means it's going to be either harder for the seller to pay those for you, or you're going to have to use some of those funds that you should be using for your down payment for the closing costs. So it's going to just prepare that, and you might even still have to spend a little more money for that, but no, the closing costs are a lot more. So in conclusion, this is a great program to use. If you're looking in these zip codes already, I would highly suggest you check with your lender and see if it's worth jumping ship. At the end of the day though, it's all about your interest rate and keeping your payment low up front. A lot of people have this idea that they say, well, I'll just refinance down the road and I'll lower my payment. It's not as easy to lower your payment down the road. Get the payment you want up front, even though you have to save up a little money to get the house you want. But if this is at least enough to get you started into your home buying journey, then use it. Talk to a lender and start the process there. And if it doesn't happen to work with this lender or this loan, then at least you've already started the process and we can get you into home ownership faster than or sooner than you were thinking. So thank you guys for watching very much. I appreciate all your love and support. We're about to hit 2,000 subscribers on YouTube, so I wouldn't have this without you guys. So thank you so much. If you are interested in starting something to do with this program or just having a conversation about home ownership, you can reach me at my number, which is found in the description below, or you can reach me on my website here. You can learn a little more about me. You can even scroll down and start searching for some homes if you'd like. And once we start chatting, then I can definitely connect you with a great lender that does this loan program that will be able to start chatting with you, seeing if it's the best fit for you. So thank you guys. I really appreciate you once again. I do have a video coming up with my partner lender, Lizzie Hofer, so expect that. It's going to be a pretty good video. And other than that, thank you guys for your time. Have a great day.